Welcome to the Casters Civil War free-for-all. What this is, guys, is this is a free-for-all between the 8 casters who are the team captains of the Caster Civil War, and what we're fighting for in this free-for-all is the chance to basically select our draft pick. If you don't know what the Caster Civil War is, it's a recreation of the War Chest Team League that was run in 2020. We have 8 casters. 8 casters will pick 5 players for their team, and then those teams will all fight against each other in a Team League format. Every caster casts their own team, which means that you get very biased casting. It's a lot of fun. And if you want to find out more about it, we do have a Kickstarter, which has a great information video that will be down in the YouTube description. If you want to check that out, it's definitely, the video on that page is definitely one of the best ways to learn more about it if you haven't heard about it yet. So this is the free-for-all. Now, you might notice, I'm obviously one of the casters. I played in this. This happened a couple of hours ago. That does mean, to some extent, I know the results and stuff, but I do want like a full archive of this entire event on my YouTube. And so I am going to cast this now and give a bit of an overview. It'll be a bit of a different cast because I kind of know bits of what happened, but I also can tell you a bit about what was going on in the Discord with all the casters at the time and stuff like that as well. If you do want a version of this that was casted kind of, you know, in the traditional way of not knowing what the heck was going on and casted live, then you should check out Steadfast. He did the official cast for this, so he actually had access to our Discord as well, so you could unmute us at points. I definitely recommend you guys go and check him out if you want to see the full video. And of course, if you do like this and you want to keep up to date with all the stuff of the Caster Civil War, then do consider like and subscribing. It will go a long way. And of course, you can keep up with all the Caster Civil War uploads, as we're going to have some top players such as Maru, Serral, Rogue, Raynor, Kuro, Solar, Bjorn, Classic, and all the rest taking part in the event. Definitely going to be a lot of fun. So, you can see all the names of everyone on the bottom of the screen. DeMusliM is Demu Queen, Zombie Grub Pig, Nathanius Cats, Fear Dragon, RotterDaM, and myself, Wardy. And this is already going to be Fear Dragon, Cannon Rush, and RotterDaM to begin with. So, Fear Dragon begins with the Cannon Rush. And this was kind of awkward because I'm kind of over here, and I came and checked this out, and I actually saw, oh, yeah, because we kind of, like, we were meant to have a coalition to kill Rotti and DeMusliM first because they're kind of the powerhouses. So, yeah, I mean, I saw this was going on. I was like, well, can I really? So I come in here with the Reaper to try and be a little bit annoying. Roddy doesn't have any gas right now, so my Reaper just pings away a little bit, but I'm also in a little bit of trouble because Roddy's kind of scary, you know? And if Roddy's kind of scary, the last thing I want to do is to, you know, piss him off because he's right next to me. He's right next to my base, so I don't really want to be enemies with Roddy, so I killed a work, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play the passive game and get out. So, not going to lie, this down here is a base you're not going to see much of in this because I am going to sit back and just hide and try and just be friends with everyone for as long as possible. You'll see why, though, very soon. Like, my initial plan here is to basically build up, get some tanks along here, and basically become unbreakable. Because what we're playing for is draft position. So every position you finish is better. If you die first, you get your last pick in the draft. Whereas if you die 5th, for example, you get 4th pick. So it's really powerful just to stay alive longer. And my main goal was to just survive at least 2 people, to get pick 6 or so. So that was my main goal, to try and get pick number 6. That's what I'm basically aiming for here in this free-for-all. From my own point of view, obviously I think others will have their eyes set on that first place seed, but yeah, for me, I was just going to be happy if I could get survive a couple other people, survive past a couple people. So that's my main plan. As a couple Reapers of me come around, we do have drones of Pig, who takes a gold base on this left side, just transferring over. I'm mostly just scouting, trying to figure out what's going on. And what's everyone else up to? Well, everyone's just kind of getting set up. Roddy is going into his Stargate. DeMusliM is playing Protoss, and he's already got a Void Ray being Corona boosted out as well. As I do have the Stalker and the Adept there to turn that Reaper around. And just going to be seeing another Cyber Core coming down from Fear Dragon in the main base. So drops that down as we do have the Void Ray going to come up overhead. He's going to take that Spine Crawler down and this Overlord. This has been kind of annoying. Pig's been harassing the mineral line from the low ground, so that's definitely a part of annoyance there. As you can see, Fear Dragon is trying to set up something on this watchtower, but Ling as a Pig will see it, and that's going to be dealt with pretty much immediately. Yeah, I mean, looking at this now, I realize maybe I could have killed Roddy. I was really scared of Roddy, but I do kind of have 2 tanks, and, well, I only have 2 tanks, but Roddy doesn't even have Warp Gate, so, wow, I actually probably could have had a pretty good time, huh? Yeah, I probably made some mistakes over here, I'm not going to lie, guys. I probably should have taken advantage, because obviously if I kill Roddy, I get access to these bases. And on a map like this, everyone kind of has 2 bases each. Well, the last thing you want to have happen is, to not have any money. So if you have 4 bases versus 2, you're almost, unbeatable. So, yeah, that was probably my own mistake. I lacked confidence, what can I say? I'm a scrub. When you compare me to Roddy, I stand no chance. Yeah, okay, well. Right now, Katz is over here scouting. He's been pretty quiet so far. Obviously, we just saw PiG harassing DeMusliM's mineral line up around the top side as well. And other than that, we are just going to be seeing these feelings coming in. They're going to get us around, and they are going to go through this cannon. So that cannon is going to get chipped down as well. And just going to see another probe or so getting picked up also. And these feelings are going to go jumping on the pylon over here. Just try and take that down as well. A couple of Marines will nibble through the pylon of Fear Dragon. Fear Dragon's just got pylons all over the map. He's on one base. He opened with that cannon rush. And he's now building Dark Templar. So Fear Dragon on his way up over here. Here we haven't talked about much. This is Zombie Grub over here. She's getting Banshees and Cloak. Nathanius down here is going to take his CC to the island. That makes sense. These bases are great for Terrans. We actually regamed a couple of times, and the first time I spawned here, and the second time here, and obviously the third time here, I was like, there goes that island base, which could have been a bit of extra eco, of course. Nate already has one battlecruiser on the map, and that's flying around and having some fun. As it gets a couple of cancels over here. Now, the Phoenix are here as well, so Pig's getting bullied on both sides. And, well, yeah, everyone's having a bit of a different time in this, aren't they? Oh no, the BC died! Oh my goodness! The battlecruiser actually went down. Man, I'm giving Roddy way too much respect. Honestly, I'm playing like an absolute terrified little kid right here. Roddy has like 5 Phoenix. I actually flew in with these Vikings right now, and I'm like, huh, he's got 5 Phoenix. I'm like, I'm scared though, you know, like, but if I just walk down, I could just walk into his base and kill him though. Like, realistically. Yeah, I could have just walked over there and killed him. I had no idea. I was too scared, guys. All I want to do is survive a couple of people. You know, my game plan's not... I'm not playing to win. I'm playing to get a couple of points. So, ZG flying a Banshee through over this way. I don't think that ever comes to my base. Does it fly into my base and die? No, she just turns around. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure ZG didn't hit me at all. Katz is just spreading creep, I gotta say. His creep is everywhere. And it's joined up with Pig's creep as well. And Katz is going to start taking a base in the center. He's already got lurkers, so he's kind of playing that as TT show up from Fear Dragon. And they're going to start hitting a couple of different bases. Again, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, get my own base up. And, yeah, this left side's going to be pretty big because Fear Dragon hasn't expanded yet. That's definitely something that should come back a little bit further down the line and help a whole bunch. What else is going on then around the map? This is really interesting for me because I very much so in this game see my base and a couple of scans out on the map, and I hear a lot of what's going on, but obviously I didn't get to see a lot of what was going on. Just want to say, by the way, I'm the only honorable Terran player playing Bio. Meanwhile, everyone else is playing BCs and Cyclones, and LCG's adding on 2 more barracks, but she is looking like she's playing mech for the most part, so... intriguing, but I just want to say, for the most part, I was the true honorable Terran player. Playing a bit of Bio, having some fun. Man, I could have killed everybody around me. What? I could have walked in here and killed Roddy. I could have walked in here and killed Nathanius. I was so powerful, I had no clue. Oh, man. I feel like an idiot. You haven't... This is why you shouldn't watch your own replays, guys. You learn how much of an idiot you are. You realize how dumb you are. You realize that you're not very good. It feels bad, I'm not lying. I actually did a VOD review one time, and it's actually one of the things I really wish I'd put on YouTube because it was hilarious. It was just me playing a couple ladder games, and someone in my Twitch chat was like, hey Wardy, you know, why don't you play more? And I'm like, well, this is what happened the last time I played, and I proceeded to rip the shit out of myself. There's a great moment where I basically try and take a fight. I'm trying to siege a Liberator, and it takes me like 7 attempts to siege this Liberator because I just keep bringing it back with the main army every single time. I'm like, just having a complete and utter nightmare. It's it was some great content. I really should have put that on YouTube. It was a fun time. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm just sat here chilling. I'm like, maybe I should do something, so I'm going to load up a couple drops. Meanwhile, these Roddy Tempests are trying to stop Pig from having this gold base. Katz is just fully overtaking the center, attempting to take this gold base over here. And, man, Nathanius really just has... He has these couple BCs, but not much else. The one thing I'm scared of, though, is I don't want to piss off the people around me, because I'm not sure that I can actually survive them, right? I don't want to piss them off and then have to deal with them the entire time after, so... I'm just kind of having a look around, trying to get an idea of what's going on. Meanwhile, ZG is going into Bio behind this kind of mech-focused opener with the Cyclones and the BCs. Katz is very much so just going into anything and everything. He's got Hive, he's getting double Evo chambers. DeMusliM is harassing with Void Rays. I mean, him and Pig have been having a thing going on this entire time. And DeMusliM comes through and he's going to kill off a bunch of Overlords, a few drones going down as well. So definitely a pretty strong start as these few Hydras continue in, and just going to be seeing the couple of spores setting up as well just around the back there. The Voids go hiding away, a couple carriers still coming through, and the +2 air weapons setting up on the Cybercore at the front as well. All of that just continuing up right now. A couple DTs are going to get blasted by the siege tanks, so siege tanks doing pretty reasonably over there, as we do have extra carriers continuing to produce. +2 air weapons is about halfway done, and just going to be seeing our Lings, our Hydra, a couple of Lurkers, all of that join up together. This is the first part of the game where I actually get attacked, so Nathanius actually comes to fight me, and I'm like, well, actually, BCs aren't that scary, so I just stim into them, and I nearly killed. I honestly, that should have died. At this point, I'm like, well, actually, I could probably fight him, right? Like, those BCs don't stand a chance. My only problem is I have no medevacs. My Marines aren't really being healed or anything, so I'm a little bit scared, and he actually sends 2 more across, and, you know, it's a whole thing. Pig is having a rough time. He cannot save this base, and he's been harassed over here as well. His gold has not been going very well for him, as we get a couple BCs pushed back again. I think he's just sniping down a couple of my depots or so. At this point, I'm still actually pretty high up on supply. I'm not doing so bad, but Roddy's army is definitely starting to look scary. If I was going to kill him, I guess that should have happened much sooner. I actually saw this drop on the map. I didn't follow this, but I believe I killed this gold base. I actually harassed Pig's base a little bit. I ended up over here, but then I realized, well, out of all the people I should be killing, Fear Dragon maybe isn't it. And I find this base of DeMusliM, I'm like, well, we'll see what we can do, but turns out cannons are pretty good, and he has the Void Rays nearby as well, so it doesn't last very long. It's kind of funny, though, that DeMusliM manages to expand over here, while freaking Pig is, like, in the middle of him as well. But then it was like, hey, look, there's a couple of Vipers I can kill, so goodbye, Vipers. That was a nice little catch. I got rid of this one, at least. I don't think I grabbed the other one. Oh, yeah, he actually killed my medevac. That's okay. I got some of his drones killed back, and that was a whole bunch of fun. So, yeah, I was honestly pretty content. I was doing a bit of damage. My base is not impenetrable, but I've got BCs to my right, which I don't think can do much more than harass me. I've got an air army to the left, but at this point, I was talking to Roddy in the communications in the Discord, and I was like, hey, look, Lan, like, I did send a Reaper into a base early, but I killed 1 probe, and I left. So, look, I'm not your enemy, you know? There's no need to kill me. You focus on the bigger threats, just leave me be. And so I'm, like I say, this is where I basically camp out, do nothing, and you guys will see me later. As we do see Fear Dragon attempting to War Prism DTs around. Looks like this is where Roddy is going to try and kill Fear Dragon off, because obviously Fear Dragon kind of rushed him early. There's some bad blood over there. ZG did push out to the forward position with the planetary fortresses on this gold, so she gets to mine that out. That's nice. Cat's still full control of the center, which is obviously beautiful. And DeMusliM, he's not far from killing Pig, who's only on 80 supplies. I mean, DeMuslim's supply is kind of low too. These guys have all been skirmishing with each other. You know, Katz has been left kind of alone. Like, the damage Katz has taken has been on, like, his external bases, so he's just building up a mass of units. Nate has obviously got these BCs coming up, so he's looking pretty good as well. And then, yeah, what else we got going on, I guess? Pig's just going to try and keep fighting DeMusliM, so these two are just really having at it on the top side. Fear Dragon is definitely just getting killed off here by Roddy, and I don't really blame Roddy. I mean, Fear Dragon really put a spanner in his works early. So, again, I mean, I could have just walked down here and killed Roddy's bases, I guess, but like I say, I was a bit scared. And this is the moment I realized it was maybe not a good idea to move out either, because I move out, I get hit by a Widow Mine, and I'm like, well, I'll get rid of this mine, and then I'm like, well, I don't really want to annoy Nate. And I walked up here, and I was like, Lurkers in the middle of the map, and I was like, nah, you know what? Best place to be is at home. Because we're 13 minutes in, and no one has died yet, so I'm like, and I'm hearing that people are in trouble. I'm like, I don't want to just walk down a ramp and die, like, stupidly, because that would be really silly, right? There's a couple DTs of Fear Dragon harassing. These are his last units on the map. Again, my goal is just to survive for a couple of people. That's all I'm looking for. That's all I want. So I just have no need to go and, you know, be crazy and move out on the map or anything along those lines, you know? Alright, well, again, like I said, I'm just going to set my base pretty much. I scout a little bit with some Vikings. I hit a Phoenix or so, but nothing really intentional. Just trying to see if anything's over here. Just make sure I'm safe. I keep talking about myself. It's really weird, but when I'm in the game, I kind of keep gravitating back to myself because I kind of knew what I was doing. This fight continues. Pig and DeMusliM going up against each other. Pig just trying to hold on, using those Vipers to abduct. I mean, that war's been going on a while. He actually does manage to mine out this base. And God, ZG walked in over here. Well, that's not pretty for her because my tanks are up here. There's Lurkers on the other side. The problem is ZG was teamed up with Nathanius and Fear Dragon to try and kill Roddy, but ZG couldn't get to Roddy because Well, Cats took the middle of the map, and then I was just trying to protect my own bases, so she's not able to really get where she wants to be. So she's trying to get over there, but she loses so many Marines in the process, it's just not a pretty situation, so it doesn't go all so good for Zombie Grub in that one. Well, extra GTs coming through. Plenty of BCs from Nathanius, who's, I think, being pretty patient and calm at this point, because he can't really go anywhere either. Oh, yeah, this is what happened. He actually did... One thing that happened in my base, I guess, is Nathanius did Yamato cannon down my command center. Wasn't too happy with that. As you can see, I'm, like, literally over here. I'm like, ZG, just walk past me. You know, you do what you want to do. I'm just going to hide. Yeah, enough of me. That's not really the interesting part. I think Fear Dragon is very much so dead. He's been trying to survive. One of the rules we had is don't float to the corners to survive longer. But you are allowed to stay in until your buildings get eliminated, right? Because that could help someone else out, you know? So as long as you're not floating away into the corner, because not all races can do that, that was the only real rule we had going into this. As, yeah, Jess really just wanted to get to Roddy's natural, and that didn't go very well. As, this is where Fear Dragon's in trouble again, loses his Nexus. I mean, he's on 4 supplies, so he still has a couple of Dark Templar or something. ZG's actually going to stem up into Roddy's base here. Oh, she's going to get rid of a few Phoenix. I mean, this is her also just sacrificing Marines, because I believe she's going to build something better on the back of this, right? No, she's just going to build more Marines. Well, that ain't ideal. Fear Dragon is down on 1 base. This kind of becomes a race between Fear Dragon and Pig. Who is going to die first? And this is why we said, you know, you're kind of allowed to stay in the game until your buildings get eliminated. You know, as a way to kind of deny you. So that's kind of happening. This hive goes down. The extractor in a bit of trouble as well. Just going to see our CC and a few SCVs going to come back in my base. I mean, this is, I think, where Fear Dragon actually does die, because there's just no way he holds on. Pig has the top left base, and that's saving him for the moment, and he's got this base here. So again, it's all about just hanging in there as long as he can and just trying to scrape an extra position in the draft. Actually, Fear Dragon shows up, and he's like, hey, Pig, you look kind of dead. I'm going to start killing you. And that's kind of funky, as apparently Roddy just leaves Fear Dragon alive on like 3 structures. That's all he's got, right? Yeah, so Roddy could have eliminated Fear Dragon already, but he comes back to deal with Zombie Grub, who makes another move up here with Marines. As long as he didn't go so well last time, she kills the Cyber Core that was no longer upgrading. She's going to get a carrier. Well, ZG is just throwing a lot of units at Roddy, and it isn't going very well. Meanwhile, Nathanius does make a move into the center of the map, and is going to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. Look at resource loss, by the way. Pig lost 23k in his fight with DeMusliM. Now, you can see who definitely didn't take any trades at all. Me just sitting in the corner being kind of happy. Nathanius is pretty okay, just teleporting VCs away so he doesn't lose a lot of resources during this. As Roddy finally has a chance to come over here and clean this out. And that is our first player eliminated, I believe. Fear Dragon goes down and will be the 8th pick in the Casters Civil War draft. Now, Pig is really only on these bases as well. Looks like Roddy's going to get a double KO, as I believe these are just Pig's last few structures here. So Pig looks as though he's going to be down and out in a sec. He's like, can I build extractors? Anything to buy time, I guess. You don't know what's going on around the map. You don't know if someone else is on the verge of dying, right? So, yeah, makes sense. As Pig runs out of buildings, though, and he does go down. Cats is rebuilding in the center as the BC Onslaught comes back in. So Pig gets 7th pick in the Caster Civil War draft. Just going to see the BCs moving through. They get a hatchery, and they will back it up just a little bit as well. Another Widowmine shot goes off. That does land on the Viper. And, well, it's getting to a weird state of the game where there's not actually a lot of resources around. Like, this base in the top left. Supplies right now, Nate, ZG, myself, and Rotty are close to being maxed out or thereabouts. I think at this point I've just killed off a bunch of SCVs and I'm trying to decide what to build. I don't want more Marines. I'm going to get Vikings and Thors just to try and buff up my army against all these scary air units. And, yeah, I think this is me scanning around as well to try and figure out who has what. But just in general, I mean, I'm not in a great position to go and fight. And right now, I'm actually in a position where I've already achieved what I wanted to achieve. 2 people have died, but I'm also in a kind of comfortable place. You know, I've heard about these guys fighting each other, and I think maybe I can survive a bit longer. So I will just sit in my base until somebody decides to come and kill me. Because to be fair, my army in my base is kind of difficult to kill. I know that's kind of a scumbag strategy, but honestly, that's all I felt like I had going for me. So I will take it, and I will no shame say that that was my plan, and that's what continues to happen in the bottom left. Obviously, Roddy taking down Fear Dragon is huge. This base was never mined initially from Fear Dragon, so Roddy gets to take over that, and he gets the gas remnants of Fear Dragon's base as well, so that's really nice. Obviously, we went 18 minutes without anyone being eliminated, then Pig and Fear Dragon go down pretty quickly after that. Nate's doing a pretty good job at denying Cats in the center, but Cats has already mined a fair amount in the middle. At this point, I think Nathanius is also telling me that he's going to free me up so I can get on the map. At which point I'm like, oh, well, who do I want to make enemies with? And honestly, I mean, to me, I think Nate's the best guy to attack because BCs seem easier to kill than Protoss. So maybe that's just a bias, but yeah, Cat is actually at 126 supply right now, but he's got a wall of static defense, so everyone is very scared of him. That's definitely something to be careful of. That's ZG mining out her bases so her SCVs can march in and get traded out at this stage as, yeah, we all kind of just sit around and try and figure out what the plan is. This part is actually going to get a little bit slow, I believe, because not really anyone is doing anything for a little bit. It's kind of crazy because the next few picks for the draft make a big difference. There's definitely a few people who are gunning for those top 4 picks. You know, they want the Serral, the Maru, the Raynor, the Rogue. And then there's a couple of us who are like, well, you know, just an extra position or so could just mean the difference of getting the player that I really want or not getting the player that I really want, you know? That's going to be seeing a few units here from ZG trying to get across the map, but Nathanius has just got Widow Mines everywhere and it's just making this a little bit of an annoyance. At this point, ZG's like, hey, Wardy, look, I don't have anything. You sure you don't want to be friends? I'm like, well, I didn't really believe that that was her entire army. But, I mean, it wasn't. She has a massive battle cruisers back at home as well, so honestly, I just wasn't friends with anyone at this stage. I was like, I'm going to come invest. I was like, how much do you have? She even put units in the medevacs. Yeah, then she got really afraid. And then she was like, no, I don't mean to kill your Vikings. This was a fun little interaction. I gotta say, ZG wasn't best impressed with me after this because I really did just sit in my base and did not help their cause at all. So I'm sorry, ZG. I am the worst. What can I say? Yeah, I mean, like I said, at this stage of the free-for-all, I think everything does calm down a little bit. We get a few moments of everything just chilling out. Everyone's just getting settled. You have Carriers, Tempest, Phoenix making their way down the left here. You actually see these Marines coming in. And ZG, again, just trying to target Roddy. ZG was definitely trying to rally around killing off RotterDaM. Again, Roddy and DeMusliM were their initial targets, and they definitely didn't do it. The spawns didn't work very well for them to do that. I mean, if ZG spawned here, I think Roddy would have died. And if I was over here, I'd probably still just be camping my base. But yeah, ZG very much so, like I say, I definitely ruined their plans. I'm so sorry, guys. What can I say? BC's coming through, and Nathanius is just trying to kill off Cats a little bit. Cats, who gets mega supply blocked off this, 163 over 64. So that's kind of a crazy supply block as those BCs go all the way through to the other side. I mean, base is going to take a bunch of damage. Parasitic Bomb goes off. I mean, this is now DeMusliM who's starting to take some heat from the BCs. But the Parasitic Bomb has added up, and now you've got Tempests. We're going to start Yamatoing down some of these Tempests. Well, BCs are pretty freaking good when they get the Yamatos off, and they're going to try and chase this army down. So Nathanius looking to take down DeMusliM as we go straight in. I mean, does he stick around here? Because now he's on top of the army. Oh my god, he just recalled to the upper right, which is obviously just right there. So that's basically no difference at all. Just trying to get some distance between these BCs and the Tempests, I imagine. Battle cruisers are going to go running forward, looking for those carriers still. Meanwhile, Roddy's over here, and it looks like ZG's going to try and kill Roddy. So this fight breaks out as well, at which point I'm being told maybe I should pick some sides, and I'm like, I don't want to make enemies, I just want to be friends with people. I just want everyone to win. ZG has kind of died here, she lost everything. And also, I'm just kind of leeching off the fact that I'm sat at home. I will say, though, that my army supply is very deceiving, because I have, like, 190 army supply or something, but my army's also, like, 71 Marines, which, when you look at everything else on the map, they kind of suck. So, yeah. You know, honestly, looking at this, I'm kind of ashamed. I kind of realize I've played the worst game out of everybody. I'm so bad. God damn it. I am actually the worst. Roddy's just going to sit here and kill ZG, it would seem. Again, it's fine to sit in and wait for your buildings to get eliminated, because you don't know, right? What if Nate was about to eliminate someone else, right? And, like, right now, Nate may be, you know, about to kill Roddy. So, sitting in until your buildings are killed is definitely something that is okay to happen. That is why we allowed that to happen. I'm just going to be seeing the PCs continue to push down into this main base. Nexus pylons continue to take damage. Roddy's actually taking a lot of production damage here. As I'm losing my barracks. I was just trying to free up space in my main, get some information on the map. Roddy's still kind of my friend. I didn't realize the BCs were right here. I mean, if Roddy had told me that the BCs were in his base, I probably could have done something about this. At this point, DeMusliM is here chasing the BCs down. And they just teleport back across into his own base. At this point, Roddy comes in, he kills my tanks. I mean, that doesn't really change anything because I don't think any of the threat in this game is going to be nullified by my tanks. They are kind of dead weight anyway, so... Yeah, he kills a few of my tanks, we back off from each other. He doesn't want to kill me just yet. At this point, I know Jess is dead. I'm just waiting for someone to actually go and kill her. So at that point, I'm like, if ZG can die, I'm kind of happy dying myself, you know? Get that one extra position, and then I'll see if I can fight someone and take an extra place, but that's pretty much all I've got, you know? Just gonna see the Widow Mine going off, a refinery going down. Roddy just taking down this center for Cats, but he mined this out. He was there early in the game, and Cats is just going to sit on this purple blob in the upper right, so just going to chill out over there for a little while. As Carriers and Tempest firing up a storm. I just want to quickly address a couple questions from the Twitch chat. Yes, guys, this was played live earlier. If you want to hear the full thing on Steadfast stream, he casted it live and had access to our Discord, so you could jump in and out to listen to the communications. I streamed my own point of view with full comms as well, so did Roddy, so you can find those VODs on our channels on Twitch. I don't know if Steadfast will upload it to YouTube. If he does, I will get a link and put it on the YouTube description when this is on YouTube as well. Just thought I'd mention that once again. That I'm saying a lot of kind of what happened at the time and stuff like this, you know, just from my memory. This is me just creating my own version of the cast for YouTube, right? So there are other versions out there already if you want to check that out. You only listen to the comments twice? Really? You need the overlay of, you know, steadfast casting and maybe just the comms all the way throughout as well. It would have been better if you scored a point if you eliminated someone. It just becomes too difficult to track though, you know? The only problem with that is that, you know, because then like, what if Roddy basically eliminates Fear Dragon, has to defend his base, and then someone just snipes Fear Dragon's last two buildings and they get the point? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like just... In this case, yes, I mean, I'm not playing the most fun kind of game because I was terrified, but I don't know. I feel like the only thing we could have done better is maybe play like 3 free-for-alls and then your overall ranking throughout them. But that was also a time commitment. And this was, again, just to decide seeding in the draft, so I think we were all very happy just to play one free-for-all and just go from there. We didn't want it to be like something that really dragged out like a very long time. This wanted to be something like a little bit of a hype for the startup, get people interested in the cast of Civil War, and just a fun way to, you know, organize the draft instead of just randomizing it like we did the last time we did an event like this. Tempest and Carriers are pushing forward. At this point, I'm like, oh, Roddy, you're fighting Nate? I'm like, I'll come and help. So I was just like, oh yeah, I see you fighting. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to come and help my boy Roddy. But I'm just like, I'm trying to tell Roddy at the same time, hey, look, like, don't hit my units. I'm coming to help. And so I'm like, I'm coming down. I'm like, hello. I'm like, make sure he's not going to attack me. Then I'm like, oh, I'm kind of scared. I was like, well, mostly all I need is my Vikings, right? Because if I can just hit the BCs from afar a little bit, that should work. I'm like trying to figure out where they are, because I obviously don't see exactly where Nate's is in his base. Problem is these turrets are really tough to get past, so it's a little bit difficult for sure. As the couple of turrets building up from Nate's side, he's really just getting that defense going. DeMusliM is low-key just kind of rebuilding in the top corner a little bit. Lings and Hydras around, just trying to see what they can do as well. Tempest continuing to pick their way through this command center, so that's going to be taken down as well. CC will drop. I'm just going to be seeing Viking, Marines, Thors, all of this continuing to set up in the center here. Just going to be having the BC still having a look. Already starts to kill off ZG, so I think ZG is still in the game at this point, right? As I'm starting to fight Nathanius. This doesn't go well for me because obviously I realize, hey, I've got a little siege going, but he can just Yamato me every now and then. So if I'm going to do this, I got to do this soon. I'm still a little bit, like, not 100% convinced, but I think on the communications, or I keep saying on the communications, that's such a weird way of saying it. On Discord, I'm pretty sure I heard that ZG was basically dying right now, so I was like, okay, I'll wait. I can't possibly die before ZG if Roddy's getting rid of her right now, so I was poised to make something happen. And the moment that ZG gets eliminated here, this is Wardy's time to shine. The last 30 minutes sitting in my base, it's about to come to a close. That ZG, she finishes in 6th place. And she isn't going to be the 6th pick in the CASTER Civil War draft. Just going to be seeing our carriers going through, Evos, everything going down. So Cat's losing some production. Like I say, it's time for me to just kind of commit, you know. A few of these BCs teleport back. And I'm like, you know what, honestly? Can the BCs really kill me? I don't know. So I'm going to run up the ramp here. I'm going to go for the Widow Mines, try and make sure they don't blow up. Answer is this was a terrible idea. I also didn't even have my Thors in the correct mode. You know what? I didn't even think about that at the time. I literally only thought of that right now. Oh, God. Honestly, I can count on, like, one hand the number of times I've built Thors in StarCraft 2. Well, you know, actually, I used to build them a lot against mutas, but this new version of the Thor is not something I've played with a lot, I'm not going to lie. I like to stim at people and kill them. And this one, I'm like, base trade. I'm like, Roddy, help me out. I need to kill Nate. Like, he's killing my base. His BCs have teleported in. But, yeah, I'm in trouble. So I try and evacuate towards Roddy's base to buy myself some time in this base trade, which I think is fine. I said no floating to the corners, but this was not floating to the corner. This was floating away on the map a little bit. Maybe stretching the rules. I fly one barracks away. So that's my attempt as we go into this base trade. I have no medevacs. It doesn't look great for me. I really need Roddy to find these freaking battle cruisers. And he's, he just doesn't come to help me, man. Oh, man, he was so close. Well, this is where I die. Spoiler alert. He chases down my single barracks. I was just trying to buy time for me to kill some structures. I didn't know he had overheal, though. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense. As this is my final barracks in some trouble. Roddy finds these battle cruisers now, and this is me finishing in 5th place in the free-for-all. Like I say, a place better than I wanted, and a lot better than I actually thought I would be able to do. Because while I wanted to finish top 6, I didn't even think that was necessarily going to be able to happen. On the plus side, I kind of killed Nathanius. His BCs actually just teleport across the map and go to kill DeMusliM. But he only really has a few structures bottom side, so Nate is not looking too hot. DeMusliM supply ain't looking pretty. Katz's supply is 143, so Roddy has the most supply, but Katz has the army of spore crawlers. He has 49 spore crawlers on the map at the moment, which is kind of crazy. So I'm trying to retwitch chat a little bit. What's the question? Is the question just why we didn't do like a best of 3 free-for-all? Because the answer is simply that we have people in like a whole bunch of different time zones, and the Americans already had to wake up at like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. and PiG is already up late at night, so nobody wanted to do 3 free-for-alls. We just wanted to do 1. That's all we needed, you know? That's all we needed. We only needed 1. That was enough fun for us. That's all we wanted. Everyone was happy. Like, at the end of the day, if all the casters are happy with the setup, I don't think there's any reason to change it up, you know? So maybe that answers the question. It's just unnecessary. Like, if no one wants to do multiple, we don't need to do multiple. I think this one single one was very fun. We had a good time with it. We got a bit of, you know, love and drama out of it. It was a good time, you know? Tempest carriers, disruptors, just going to continue out through the bottom right. And, I mean, at this point, Nathaniel's obviously just lost all his BCs. So he's just trying to stay alive with whatever he's got over in this corner. Again, just waiting for buildings to be eliminated, because you don't know if 2 other people are fighting elsewhere. But this is more or less coming down to a 3-man race. Cats, RotterDaM, and DeMusliM. Carriers and Tempest of Roddy. I mean, at this stage as well, everyone's more or less mining out, though. So one of the weird things that happens is that, obviously, carriers need minerals to be able to rebuild their interceptors. And that does kind of make it tough, because I think, honestly, Katz's base shouldn't really do that well. But when Roddy can't replenish interceptors, or DeMusliM can't replenish interceptors, it becomes much tougher for them. As you can see here, this is very much so just a case of SCVs and turrets. And Roddy does find Nathanius' base, and Nathanius is, again, just hoping that maybe Katz and DeMusliM are fighting, or something along those lines. That's going to be seeing turret after turret continue to go down, and this is, I think, fair to say, the end of Nathanius. So Nathanius is going to die. Nothing else is happening. Nathanius is going to end up placing 4th here. As, okay, I mean, he's got these structures over here, but I will slight 1 minute of spoilers, guys. Nathanius does not survive long enough to finish 3rd place. Probably even brings the carriers over to speed this up a little bit. What does Nathanius even have left at this stage? He has 4 Marines in a bunker. Like I say, it makes sense. Did he build a turret over here? Roddy recalls over there as well as, yeah, Nate is left over here. This is my army that's just left as well, if you're wondering what this sensor tower is. That's just my eliminated army. I actually think Roddy walks into me now and shoots at me. He's like, oh, sorry. I'm like, mate, I am long gone. I'm so dead. I'm so dead. So, yeah. Nate is going to finish 4th, and it comes down to the battle of the 3 of them. Going to set up in the middle there, just going to come through, and I think, yeah, this is, again, officially the end of Nathanius. I don't think anything else happens right now. Just going to see this order command will be shot down. Sensor tower, refinery, couple depots. This is all going to get cleaned up. Yeah, guys, I see the comments about finding a good map for this. I'm not going to lie, I actually asked the guys which map is good, and Nathanius joked about this map, and I said, you know what? It's one dumb free-for-all, we'll just play on it. There is no good free-for-all map for 8 players. Like, the problem is to make a map where 8 players all have like 3 or 4 bases each, it's just so freaking big, you know? Like, that's like, for 3 bases each is like 24 bases on a map. It's just gigantic. I mean, this map has 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 bases. But you've obviously got to be able to take the middle for the gold bases and then the island bases too. So, this map already has like 22 out of 24, so almost everyone gets 3 bases. It's just so hard to make a map that's even bigger than this, you know? Honestly, I think part of the fun is being restricted on the economy and getting to this weird place. You still have enough to like build up a maxed army. And I see people saying it doesn't promote attacking, but actually it kind of does promote attacking, because if you attack, you can, especially early, you can wipe out someone's bases and get their economy. Obviously attacking now makes less sense. To explain what's happening at this point, top 3 players are Cats, DeMusliM, and Roddy, and DeMusliM and Roddy basically said the only way we can beat Cats is if we actually fight him at the same time. So Roddy's making that happen on the bottom side. DeMuslim's just trying to fight with the Tempest and replenishing with the Interceptors, but this is actually kind of funny because I'm not sure when exactly, but at some point, I think at some point Roddy's like, Ben, are you even fighting? And Cats is like, no, he just left you to fight on your own. Which is kind of funny, because Roddy actually did the exact same thing of just backing up and waiting for the Tempest, and DeMusliM never really stopped attacking. But yeah, they were kind of... it's kind of funny, because I'm not sure when it happens, but basically in a moment, Roddy's like, you know what, Ben, screw you. Cats, let's get Ben. And they're gonna turn on Ben. And DeMusliM now has to start the 1v2 fight. Which is kind of funny, because Ben is actually helping to fight Cats, right? Like, that is actually happening. And Cats, honestly, he's down on like 96 supply. I mean, his spores are good. I mean, the lurkers don't really count for much right now. There are some disruptors which get zoned out by them, so they can't shoot as easily, I suppose. I'm just gonna see a few abducts coming in. This is the scary part, right? Because obviously DeMusliM and Roddy, every time they get abducted, like, oh my god, that's another unit I'm never going to be able to get back. And abducts like that really do hurt. Cats doesn't exactly have much of his own. He's got a lot of gas but no minerals in the bank. Man, this is actually kind of crazy. At this point, I'm eliminated, so I don't have as good a view when I watched it, but RotterDaM actually is... they honestly have Cats dead to right, no? Like, Cats is, like, super dead. He's got, like, 18 spores left when he used to have, like, 50. He really doesn't have much. Roddy still has full interceptors on his carriers. He is running out of Tempest. Obviously, the Vipers and their abducts are putting in work, but they really do have, like... they really do have Cats on the run. I can't believe Cats talked himself out of this, because Cats is, like, dead. As Roddy comes up this side, and he doesn't really want to use his Interceptors, I believe, because he doesn't want to actually have those coming in. I think this is the point where they decided, hey, Cat, where Roddy basically turned on DeMusliM, when he was like, hey, were you not even fighting Ben? And Cats manages to talk Roddy into being his ally. Like, Cats was really dying. No? Like, he was really on his way out, and he talked Roddy into being his ally, so they turn on DeMusliM, and they're gonna go pushing around the top left-hand side. Oh my goodness. That's actually hilarious, because Cats was actually... I actually think Cats was dead to rights. I actually think Cats was super dead. Well, I mean, DeMusliM kites away. Cats is gonna recover a little bit, respread some of the creep in the center of the map, and they're gonna go hunting down DeMusliM as DeMusliM returns to his top left island base. Roddy, I think, is going to go over here and clean out this base first. But that's actually insane. Honestly, I wasn't really watching like super in depth because I was mostly just listening to the guys banter on. But I didn't realize, like, Cats was literally on the verge of dying and managed to turn Roddy against Ben, which is amazing too. Because I don't know if Roddy's more powerful than DeMusliM at this point. No, he has more carriers. I actually don't know who wins that. It's a very close call as well. I think Roddy feels like he was like a couple more abducts away from not being competitive with DeMusliM anymore, though, so he'd rather try and fight against DeMusliM, because maybe he didn't feel like Cats was actually dying. Man, Cats was actually dead, though. Like, this fight, if it goes on for another half a minute, he has nothing left. And then he's just got the Raptors that are dying and stuff. And Cats actually gets to live a little bit. Obviously, DeMusliM has mining over here, and that's a pretty big deal. Although he actually doesn't have any production here anymore because Roddy denied his production just now. And DeMusliM is going to find a chance to get a Tempest shot off and kill off one of these carriers. Upgrades, it's 3-1-2 for Roddy, 3-1-1 for DeMusliM. So slight Roddy advantage there. This is where, again, Roddy says, Cats, come help me fight him. Let's kill this guy off. Let's kill this scumbag off. He wasn't actually helping me fight you when he was meant to. Let's just turn him. So, like I say, Cats surviving, and he dropped a couple parasitic bombs. Oh, Roddy actually... Oh, no. He actually hits the structures there. It's like, he's attacking Cats. They're going to come in, and there's going to be a big fight, of course. Roddy just going to commit through. I mean, Cats is the winner of this. He's like... He's lurking on the corner. He's like, oh, yoink, I'll kill off a carrier. Meanwhile, these two armies fully clash on the top of the map. Oh, yeah. I love this part. Cats is like, hey, that was the wrong carrier. He's like, oh, I'll leave it alive. It's okay. Cats literally killed a carrier in this fight. That's so funny. Cats basically sweet-talked Roddy into killing DeMusliM and didn't actually fight DeMusliM at all. Oh my god, I didn't even realize how beautiful this was. DeMusliM finishes 3rd place, gets 3rd place in the draft pick. I didn't realize that was actually... Honestly, I didn't realize how masterful this was from Cats. Oh my god. That's funny. That's so funny. Oh well, Roddy I think is pretty content with this at this point anyways. You know, top 2, I think you guys know who Roddy would like to pick. I'm not going to spoil anything of the draft here, guys, for this video that'll end up on YouTube, because I will actually be uploading the draft as the next upload. That'll be tomorrow. Roddy fought in here, decided he didn't have enough, and that's just going to be GG's, and Cats is going to win it out. So Roddy in 2nd place and Cats in 1st place. The masterful ending from Cats gets the job done in the Caster Civil War Caster free-for-all. Thanks so much for watching this. If you're watching this on YouTube, do consider hitting that like and subscribe button. We will have more Caster Civil War uploads tomorrow. We'll be uploading the draft video, so the show of when we actually had the draft going on, and so you can see all the teams that got picked, and then also you can also check out the you'll also be able to see all the Caster Civil War matches on the YouTube as well when we upload them once the event starts on April the 8th. So I guess the first upload will probably be April the 9th. Alrighty guys, so that is the Caster Civil War free-for-all. If you watch this on YouTube, like I said, thank you so much for watching. Hit the buttons, engage in the video, get the algorithm working in our favor. And like I say, one thing I would recommend is checking out the point of view of Roddy or Steadfast and just listening to the voice comms for certain points. I'm not enough of an editor to edit it all together, but if I was, it would have been amazing because it's really funny. So I just recommend you find this somewhere else and listening to some of the key moments because it was pretty funny. GG's, and that was the Caster Civil War free-for-all.